Oh, I think at the end of the day, if you have to like pin me down on one, I mean, we've done everything. You know, we've done everything from straight up blues to a hard rock band. I mean, for me, my true love is like the British blues. You know, like it's the early John Mayall and the Blues Breaker records. It's free. It's the Jeff Beck group of Rod Stewart singing. I think it's Rory Gallagher. I mean, it's the British kind of Irish interpretation of it, the Gary Moores and everything, and you know that to me is really my true love. If you had to pin me down, so but yeah, as a spectator, I don't go to many concerts. I mean, like the only concerts I'll go to, actually that I've actually purchased tickets for is actually Eric Clapton concerts. I mean, like I'll go see Eric Clapton. You got to. It's like the music I grew up listening to, and you know, I was introduced to the blues from the British. You know, I listened to Zeppelin before I listened to Willie Dixon. I listened to you know Free before I heard of B.B. King. You know, and it's just you know the product of my father having a good record collection, and it was his taste in music as well. The first rock festival I went to, I've never been to one as a spectator ever. I'm not. You would never see me like camping in the tent. I'm not going to Glastonbury, and there's no way. The very first rock festival I went to, proper one, because the European festivals are really done right. We did Boss Pop in Holland, and it was everybody from Anthrax to John Fogerty to Gary Moore to John Mayall, and then there was like Megadeth. It was like thrash and blues, you know, like opposite sides of the field. And that was like the first proper like rock experience, you know, where like you see 10, 15,000 people, 20,000 people in a big open field, and you know, big PA and lights, and there's no speed limit where it's you know it's loud way in the back, so you know it's peeling people's faces off in the front. And that was kind of like my first experience of it. And you know we've done our fair share of festivals across Europe and America, but yeah, they're always fun, and there's always seems to be a definitive person who wins the day. You know, there's the ones that have everything go wrong, which is never a good place to be. There's one that like just gets the sound and the thing right, and then there's the ones in the middle. I'd rather be the one that gets the sound and wins the day, or has everything go wrong. I don't want to just be remembered as just showing up. You know, something big's got to happen, good or bad. So. The only real ritual I like to really insist on is the fact is all the gear working, you know, because I think that's the most important part. You know, is the amp on? Is it going to last through the entire show? Is the microphone turned on when I sing? Currently, I'm listening to Metallica, the Black Record. Why, you ask? Interesting choice. One, I haven't heard the record for a long time. I had it back in the day, as everybody did, and somebody asked me to write a paragraph because it's 20th anniversary of the record, and somebody asked me to write a paragraph about it. And what you don't realize is in a record like that how definitive those songs were, and how well structured, and how you know, it was a perfect mixture of them going, we're still who we were when we started, but now we can appeal to a mass audience. And that was really incredible achievement for those guys. And it's become part of the vernacular. You know, I mean, those songs are you know, is influential is some of the Zeppelin catalog, and you know, the Sabbath stuff. I mean, it's of that league of playing. So currently I'm listening to Metallica. Surprised? I'm a blues guy, right? I remember that it was a really good vibe backstage. I remember that there was just a lot of bands who are not normally booked on the same festivals, because you have the prog and the metal stage, and the main stage, and so you get this real interesting cross-pollination because it's a communal backstage area, and you're seeing bands that are in completely different genres, living completely separate lives, going, oh yeah, I'm a big fan. Oh yeah, I'm a big fan. I thought that was a really cool thing. I also thought that, by and large, from the people I talked to, some festivals you talk to some people and the organizers kind of treat the fan like airlines treat their passengers, kind of like cattle. It's like a means to an end. Just get in there, and I heard that it was an easy process getting in, and it was a good event, and from both a fan and an artist perspective, and that's really what you have to look out for as an artist is going, are the people that you're bringing to these things, are they getting harassed, and is it going to affect you in the next time you come around? So I thought it was well run and well organized, and it was good. I'm very happy to be invited back, and we're honored to bring our band Black Country Communion. I'd like to speak intelligently on this subject, but as we're taping this, we start rehearsals for the tour, our very first tour, in like 3 days. And if this interview was in 4 days, I could probably tell you more. I have a song list that I think we're going to stick to. But I have no idea what, again, you never know, even with your solo stuff. There's theory and reality. You go, I'd like to get to these songs, you get to this, that, and then you go in there and you rehearse it and you go, it's just not gelling with the band. And then something out of left field comes along and it's like magic. So we're definitely going to hit both records. Finally, I think the fact that we have 2 records now gives us enough material so we don't have to do, kind of do a bunch of covers to reach the hour and 15-minute mark. And yeah, it's going to be great because what we've done here is really kind of put two records together that will make one really killer live set. All the tempos work out, and again, Glenn Hughes is singing so good, and he's playing so well. He's in such a good headspace, and Jason's the same way. Playing so well and in such a good headspace, and so is Derek, and we're really just starting to kind of gel as a band, as a unit to begin with. Where the first record, we did it in 5 days and we go, I'll see you in a year, and that's basically what happened. So this is something we're really looking forward to, and I know this is going to be the highlight of our tour. Like I said, there's a winner, a loser, and the people come in the middle. We plan on trying to win the day. So. The Black Country Community, the second record. Now, the first record was written in the 3 hours that we waited for Jason to get through traffic. He got stuck in traffic from LA to Malibu, and he was running late, and it was like an accident, and he got stuck on like one of those typical LA traffic jams. So this was a blessing in disguise because, quite frankly, we had little snippets of riffs, nothing structured. And we basically pulled the entire record out of our ass in 5 days, okay? It was just a whirlwind of creativity that somehow made sense at the end of the day. We lucked out. The second record, we had more time. Glenn and I got together. We got together on the first record, but he and I had more time to get together and really put the stuff to really kind of get some structure to it before we kind of presented it to Kevin. And then we presented it to Kevin, and then we structured it some more from there, and then we brought it in for the whole band. Then the real creative process came along because Jason would put in his bits, Derek would put in his bits, and these songs, from where they started to the end, were completely different. But we also had 2.5 weeks, which, frankly, of the 11 songs that we have on the record, we didn't really need all the time. By the last day, we were just kind of messing around, listening to the record. We were just like, okay, it's done. There's not much more we can do here. So we had the luxury of time. That's the real difference between the first and the second record. The first record was like, cannot believe we pulled it off. I literally went at the end of the 5 days going, what just happened? We did it in 2 sessions. We did a 3-day session, and then we did a 2-day session. So after the first 3 days, I'm going, well, we were supposed to get the whole thing done in 3 days. There's just no way. we had to come back 2 more days. I just have no idea how we pulled it off. I mean, it was just, again, it was sheer inspiration, respect for one another, and a guy named Kevin Shirley. But certainly, as a band, we pulled it out of our ass. I mean, like, a lot of this stuff was improv as it happened. No, it was a lot of fun. The first record was a blink of an eye. The second record was a real joy. Not to say the first record wasn't a joy, but it was a blink of an eye. We didn't have time to have dinner, let alone enjoy each other's company, or the fact that we were, I think, really doing something pretty special. The second record, we had a good amount of time to sit back, really not overthink things, but really make sure that they were right, and then come up with cohesive arrangements from start to finish, and then make the record. I think Michael Schenker is on the gig with us, right? But Michael Schenker's opening up our gigs in the UK. So I mean, you have to realize, like, some of the footage from last year, I was playing a flying V. The reason why I play a flying V is it's some of it has to do with Albert King, and some of it has to do with, Billy Gibbons back in the day played a original flying V. But a lot of it has to do when I saw Michael Schenker open up for Rush at the Utica Memorial Auditorium when I was 8. And he came out with that white and black V, and he had 4 Marshall JCM 800 stacks. It's Geekville here at High Voltage. And he came out and he played so fast, and I thought the guitar was, mind you, for an 8-year-old, this was like the coolest thing ever. I thought the guitar was the coolest thing ever. I'd never heard guitar playing that quick. And so to be on a bill with, a guy like Michael Schenker, who you wouldn't think would be a huge influence to me, really is. And so I plan on bringing out my V in tribute to Michael Schenker on that day, and it's Dream Theater I've always wanted to see live. I'm a big fan of John Petrucci, among the rest of the lot. I wish actually the one person I think we're going to miss because we have commitments and gigs is Slash, yeah, and being a fellow Les Paul man and a fan of his work with basically I love his solo record and the Guns N' Roses thing obviously speaks for itself, but I'd like to see him with Miles Kennedy because that's a great combo. I gotta say my favorite singer-songwriter and guitar player is Eric Clapton, but as an artist, he's probably my biggest inspiration. As a person, B.B. King. I really model my whole career after B.B. King. I think here's a guy who's been at the top of his game for 60 years, defines a genre of music. How many people can say defines a genre? When you talk blues, you go B.B. King. It's synonymous. There's nobody else like that. You can't even say that about country music or metal or anything. So I look at a guy who's lasted 60 years at a high level, making great records, making great music, and been able to go out there and tour venues and rooms that maybe he never made it to Wembley Stadium, but he's playing 2,000 to 5,000 seat places, and he's doing it for the rest of his life, and it's a great way to be. I think it's a great way to really model your career after, because it's not predicated on a hit. People who come to see him know it's going to be a great show, and that's what I try to do every day. The gold suit. The gold suit probably won't come out with BCC. I think I'll look a little out of place. I always say about the gold suit, it's really a cheap suit. I'm telling you. And why would anybody buy that to wear? If I wore that on a date, ladies, I'm asking you, if I showed up to our first date and I'm wearing a head to toe, I'm in a gold suit, like I'm some kind of pimped out Tin Man, okay? Will there be a second date? No, there won't be a second date. There'll be like a restraining order. Okay, so I always say with this gold suit, it's so cheap that it turned my whole body green. But the gold suit may come out in the fall, but it's certainly not long for this world, because it's made. I think I paid like 200 euros for it. But when I walked into the shop, I go, gotta do it, right?